system. All right, so before we go any further with this, though, I'm a huge fan of the intro to this show. Can we talk about that? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the intro. Anything to say about that? Should we just describe it?
Yes, because some people may not remember or recall.
All right, so a man in a trench coat walks up a hill in the brightest of broad daylight. We're talking like high noon at the OK Corral sunlight. And he climbs up to the top of a hill, and he's carrying a briefcase. Camera zooms in, and we realize the briefcase reads R.L. Stine. It's the man himself, the person we have to thank for all these
the man, the myth, the legend.
Spooktacular creations. So he goes to the top of the hill, and he's overlooking like a suburban community, and his briefcase just flies open all of a sudden, and then all of these sheets of paper, which we could assume are probably his stories or like redacted, like declassified government documents, I don't know.
Those are actually my notes to this episode that out of a suitcase. Wait, I'm still looking for them. You know. I think I found them. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep going. Sorry.
The weird thing is your notes happen to be the Panama Papers too, right? Which does anyone remember those? Is that not timely enough?
Sorry, Grandpa, tell me more stories.
Anyway, all right, so R.L. Stine, or this guy who I guess is supposed to be R.L. Stine, is at the top of this hill, and his stories go flying out over the community. We're given kind of a panorama of the terror that is unleashed upon this, every town USA kind of setting. And the first thing that we see is a billboard of a woman smiling and trying to sell us a product. I don't remember what it is. I probably should have taken better notes on that. But the Goosebumps G in like sort of a ghastly ghost form drifts past the billboard. Keep in mind too, this is still like absolute broad daylight.
Yeah, it's like 12 o'clock noon.
Yeah, it's high noon at the OK Corral still. Like it's not getting any darker. The Goosebumps G drifts by this woman on a billboard, and her face goes from smiling and enthusiastic to I guess like slightly perturbed.
Yeah.
Slightly,
she like becomes like ghastly, if I remember right.
No, I don't think it's pretty
like
subtle.
Her face is subtle and her hair wilts.
Exactly.
Stink lines start coming off of her.
I would go a little bit further than just slightly perturbed or whatever you just said.
I felt like I was being extreme when I said that. Like I was giving them credit, but like yeah, sure, like whatever. People should watch it for themselves and decide like because I think whoever directed that intro is a real auteur, and like they didn't want to push it too far, because you don't want like a decaying zombie face. You just want somebody who's like a little like discomforted. And that's what they got, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And the choice to do this whole thing in broad daylight too, just like...
Well, it makes perfect sense, because you have to remember that this show would have originally been on at like 3:30 when we were all coming home from school.
That's a good point.
That is actually a really good point, because I kind of wanted to harp on this thing more for being all in broad daylight. That's probably the real reason, and that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So. I feel very deflated right now.
Oh, no.
All right, so anyway, let's cut the shit here. So we're coming up on the climax at this point, and we're like 15 seconds into the intro. I know we're stretching this discussion out, but we'll be done soon. So we're coming up on the climax of the intro, and they've got a real ace in the hole for the scariest part of this broad daylight suburban nightmare.
Andrew, may interrupt you for 1 minute.
Yeah, please, by all means.
By all means, please take as much time as you want to discuss this intro. This is really fascinating. So if you need to do 3 hours on this alone, do it. Just do it.
I did my dissertation on it, so I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
It's like the
anyways.
The aesthetics of
spookology. I just want to let you, and of course Denise, like if you guys need to take like 7 hours to like go over like a scene or the intro or just a single line of dialogue, by all means, just do it.
Noted.
Okay.
All right, so we're at the climax of the intro that that appears before every episode of the show. It is nothing short of like bone chilling. I would say it's ghastly. It's all in broad daylight again. So like very subtle kind of horror intro that you don't normally see. So does one of you want to describe the high point of the the intro?
I can't do it with the level of eloquence that I know you can give it. Greg?
Oh, I can't. I just can't do it.
I can't either. I guess the podcast.
There it is. That's it. Go watch the rest for yourself. Good day.
Yeah. Well, not just any dog though. It's a very friendly looking golden retriever.
Golden retriever, right?
It's a golden retriever sitting on a porch in broad daylight in every town USA, and the Goosebumps G, I believe, drifts by. I could be wrong about that, but I think the Goosebumps G drifts by. The dripping.
It's like a silhouette of the G. It just floats by and it's waving. It kind of looks like a watermark, but like a really fucking evil watermark. It goes from one side to the other side of the screen.
Yeah, it's like a spectral Goosebumps G.
Yeah, it's like a specter.
Yeah, just floating by. And it goes by, and we saw what happened with the billboard, and that was not pretty. I mean, that was, again, nothing short of absolutely, like, blood-curdling when the lady looked somewhat uncomfortable. But then, like, it goes by the dog, and what happens next will shock and scare you. And honestly,
end of your days.
No, I have to issue a warning, though, to anyone listening to this. Like, if you do watch this, you may want to skip this if you're like faint of heart at all, or you have like
if you don't have a will drawn up yet.
Yeah, if you don't, exactly, yeah.
You're gonna want to.
If you don't have a will and you don't have your burial plot picked out, I would just skip this because chances are you're not coming back from this one. Best case scenario is you're gonna like end up probably like something like approximating a homeless veteran afterward. You're just gonna be like absolutely shell shocked and rattled. But shout out to homeless veterans, by the way. So the Goosebumps G drifts by this dog on the porch in broad daylight, and its eyes turn to a sort of sickly yellow color with a black pupil in the middle for a quick second, and then we're kind of on to the next thing. And that's the money shot right there. That's the ace in the hole that they built into that absolutely terrifying intro. We didn't even talk about the music, too. Can somebody describe the music? I feel like I'm talking too much.
Well, no, hold on, though, because I don't even remember what happened after the dog, because that's how shocked and terrified I was by the dog.
No, it doesn't matter. Anything that happens post-dog is throwaway.
Irrelevant.
It's irrelevant, yeah.
I bet you could probably walk on the street right now and just ask anybody about the Goosebumps TV series, and that will be what they remember the most, is the dog with the green fucked up eyes.
I believe they're yellow.
Yellow. With the dog with the yellow fucked up eyes. Anybody will remember that because it just imprints in your memory.
Yeah. No, I still have waking nightmares sometimes about it.
No, I just remember what came after that. It was irrelevant, really, for real.
Well, when I got addicted to Oxycontin because I was so rattled from that dog.